Well. Good morning again, y'all. Welcome back. Going to touch on a little bit of boxing this morning, right now, on this particular live stream. Wow. I don't know what's going on with boxing right now, y'all. It's wild, right? It's crazy. But I wanted to touch on this Jerron Boots Ennis situation where, we know he signed to Eddie Hearn. He signed to Eddie Hearn after his last fight. He left the PBC, and signed with Eddie Hearn Metro. Okay, and everybody thought this was a good move, right? Everybody thought this was a good move because 22 Ronin was good. Everybody thought this was a good move because, Eddie Hearn was going to get the fights cracking for Jerron Boots Ennis. And, Eddie Hearn had the moves. He had the strings to pull. He was going to make things happen. He was going to move and shake and bake, right, for Jerron. Because one thing we do know about Jerron Boots Ennis is a lot of people don't want to fight him, right? He's dangerous, right? They feel like it's a high risk, low reward situation. He wanted to fight Terrence Bud Crawford, and Bud basically didn't want to fight him. Errol Spence said that he had to do something, you know what I'm saying? He's trying to make these fights happen. No one wants to fight Jerron Boots Ennis, right? No one with any prestige in the sport, because they feel like, he's going to whoop their ass and take their O or make them look bad. And he might do that. Jerron Boots Ennis is a very special fighter. He's a very good fighter. He is an excellent boxer. He has the switch hitting down. He can change stances just like that, like it's nothing. And he whoops on people. He has some power. People look at him like a younger version of Terrence Bud Crawford. And so, but he's younger and he's a little less methodical and all that. But, he's a great fighter. He's great. He had an opportunity, right, to fight shit. I forgot his fucking name. I don't know what's going on with my memory these days. Boots Ennis wants in. He wants in, but he ain't gonna get in with Eddie Hearn. Brian Norman. So he had an opportunity to fight Brian Norman for his WBA belt. And there is a lot of shit going around about who ducked who and who offered who what money. You got Boosie Ennis talking about he knew what Brian Norman Sr. wanted. He wanted basically $2 million, right? Brian Norman Sr. wanted $2 million. Brian Norman wants $2 million to fight Jerron Boots Ennis. And this is what was understood by Boosie Ennis. But Eddie Hearn is telling people that he gave Brian Norman 3 different offers and he turned each one down. Boosie Ennis is saying that there were 3 offers, but at the end of the day, he knew what what Brian Norman wanted, $2 million. And if it wasn't going to be $2 million, he would take $1.5 million to fight on neutral ground, not in Philly, right? It was simple. These are simple things. Brian Norman is a champion at 147 pounds. Jerron Boots Ennis is a champion at 147 pounds. They wanted to unify. $2 million is not a lot for a unification bout. I lie. Joao Manuel says I lie. What did I lie about? This is what happened. Go back to the exchanges. What's a lie? Don't tell me. Anything that Eddie Hearn didn't say is the lie, right? Anything that opposes what Eddie Hearn says is a lie. But anyway, this is what happened. Right? And then there was all this shit about sparring and, you know, who did what to whom during sparring and all this other shit. Really shit that's not very important. That has no bearing on the fight being made. It's a sparring match, right? Doesn't matter who got the best of who in sparring. Now we want to fight. We want to fight for a unification. 2 belts are on the line. Let's make it happen. Why can't we make it happen? Why can't we just say, hey, all right, fuck it. You want 2 million? You take 2 million. I'll take the rest. And then we can work out whatever else. It's probably not going to be on pay-per-view, so it's probably won't be no back-end pay-per-view money. Right? They could have made this happen for Brian Norman and Jerron Boots Ennis. But, of course, Eddie Hearn is manipulating shit. He's saying all this shit. He doesn't really want Jerron Boots Ennis to fight Brian Norman. So it doesn't happen. Doesn't happen, right? There goes the unification bout off the table now. Off the table. But what's on the table? What's on the table now? Well, Jerron Boots Ennis is now going to fight Karen Chukka Chukka. Where the fuck is that? Chuka Zahuzian. Whatever the fuck. Karen Chukka Chukka. That is who Jerron Boots Ennis is going to fight next. And it's probably going to happen in Germany. So now you're not going to fight for a unification in Philly. You're going to fight a regular ass fight in Germany against Karen Chukka Chukka, who you already fought. You already beat Karen Chukka Chukka 2 years ago or so. So now you're going to have a rematch against Karen Chukka Chukka for less money than you would have gotten with Brian Norman in Philly. Now you got to travel to Germany or whatever the fuck to fight this guy. And this was Eddie Hearn's doing, right? Eddie Hearn's supposed to be the guy. He's supposed to be the one to boost Jerron's career. Well, what good is Eddie Hearn is if all he can do is boost a fight with Karen, who he already fought? What's the rematch for? Why are we rematching Karen for? What's the purpose? He could have fought Karen. He could have fought Brian Norman. Likely would have beaten Brian Norman. He would have had 2 belts. Would have had 2 belts. He would be on his way to undisputed. Now, he's not getting any closer to undisputed. But Eddie Hearn's supposed to be the man. Sound like Boots Camp needs connections. You know, these fighters, man, I don't see the purpose of having a promoter if all the promoter's going to do is get in your way and take more of your money. You can cut out the middleman that is known as the promoter and get this shit done yourself. That's what I think. I mean, that's what Devin Haney's doing. He signs one fight deals with these other promoters and whatever, you know, because they have connection to the networks, and that's it. But he gets promotional money as well. The point is, Eddie Hearn was supposed to boost Jerron Boots Ennis' career by getting him fights that he would not otherwise get under PBC, right? But instead, he's just gonna He's going to blow, right? He's going to blow the goddamn unification bout with Brian Norman and have him rematch some guy he already fought. For what? How you feeling today, my friend? This is John from Brooklyn, New York. Oh, what's good, man? What's good, John? Welcome to the channel. Yes, the promoters are gatekeeping. It's just like government, y'all. Right? It's just like government. And this is why I like to talk about boxing and related to what's going on in society today. What good is Eddie Hearn going to do for Jaron Boots Ennis that he can't do for himself with a little bit extra work? Jaron Boots Ennis might have to do a little bit more work. Might have to make a little bit more happen for himself. Be a little bit more self-sufficient. If Jaron Boots Ennis wants to be self-sufficient, he has to do a little bit more work. He has to go to these meetings. He has to shake more palms, right? But he's going to save himself more money. He's going to save the headache by going through the middleman known as the promoter, Eddie Hearn. And look what Brian Norman would have to do to fight Jaron Boots Ennis. He would have to give bread to Top Rank in order to fight against Jaron Boots Ennis. Even though it's a unification bout, he would have to pay Bob Arum to cross the street. Bob Arum is the Department of Treasury. Bob Arum is the Department of Treasury. Eddie Hearn is the IRS. Right? And the sanctioning bodies, those are the presidents. Right? Those are the ones that, oh, you get a shiny belt and you got to pay us a sanctioning fee. For what? Do we really need that, y'all? Imagine if Tank Davis, Devin Haney, Terrence Bud Crawford, Errol Spence, right? I'm naming the top names. Hell, let's throw Canelo in there. Let's say Canelo, Errol Spence, Devin Haney, Tank Davis all got together and said, let's promote ourselves. Let's work together to promote ourselves. You know, we'll help promote other fighters because we have the names and we have the clout. We are the faces of boxing. You know, let's work together to help these fighters get better fights, get more money, and cut out the middleman. We'll just arbitrate and be guys. They won't have to sign contracts to us. You know what I'm saying? But we will help them. There's a way to do it. Right? These fighters can just not sign to promote it and they'll still be able to fight. Will the promoters come after them? Absolutely. Will the sanctioning bodies bust their balls? The sanctioning bodies? The WBC, the WBO, the IBF, the WBA? Yeah. But what if they said, fuck it, we'll make our own, we can just start a new belt. We'll have one belt per goddamn division. One belt per division. And when you get that belt, no sanctioning fees, right? You get a nice belt, but you'll be a champion. You can still be a champion of the division. We'll just cut out all the sanctioning bodies. We'll cut out the promoters, and we'll see how they like it. That would work better, right? There wouldn't be, crossing the street here. You wouldn't have to cross those streets. You wouldn't have to worry about nothing, none of that. You wouldn't have to worry about the inconsistency in the rankings. Because we all know that the sanctioning body rankings are a joke, right? They do it, it's arbitrary. They do what the fuck they want to do. Well, if you cut out all these sanctioning bodies, made one belt for a lineal champion with no sanctioning bodies. It's just, it's one singular recognized belt. And if the sanctioning bodies want to have, they want to put a belt out there in the atmosphere for people to fight for, well, that'll be up to the fighters. Let's have a tournament. Okay. It'll be fun, right? But the rankings would have to be clear. The only way you other sanctioned bodies can even think about fucking with us is if you follow the rules set out by the fighters, the coalition of boxers, right? The coalition of boxers, because the boxers are the ones that make the fights possible. The boxers make the fights possible, not the promoters, not the sanctioned bodies, because the sanctioned bodies can exist and the promoters can exist. But if they don't have the boxers, there will be no fights. The boxers make the fights happen. Now, this is something that Mayweather was trying to do and all this shit and all that. We know what happened with that, right? This is the problem. The problem is just like statists out here in society. They feel like they need the government. They feel like they need these governing bodies to make shit happen for themselves. But at the end of the day, they are the ones that are producing. What do the promoters produce? Hell, they barely even promote anymore. What do the promoters produce? What do the sanctioning bodies produce? They don't produce shit without the boxers. Right? If the boxers don't fight, and if the people who want to see the boxers fight don't pay to see them fight, they got nothing. The only thing the boxers need to make a living at the end of the day are the fans. The fans that will pay to see the fights. Right? Am I wrong here? The boxers and the fans. You might need a manager to help you, you know. Each boxer has their own manager, you know, that's loyal to them. But you don't need the sanctioning bodies. You don't need the promoters. All you need are the fans. The fans will provide. And the networks, of course. You need the networks. The networks will work with whoever is going to get them the money. Whoever's going to get, hey, you promote your own fight or you hire a promoter for the time being, you know, to promote the singular fight. Hire somebody that's good, that can help push the fight, help sell the fight, that is actually going to work in the best interest of the boxer in the boxer's career. Eddie Hearn shouldn't have an agenda with any of these boxers. Eddie Hearn should not have his own agenda. Bob Arum should not have his own agenda, right? Floyd Mayweather should not have his own agenda. Now they say the guy that runs the PBC. I'm brain farting today. My brain is farting today. The head of the PBC. He should not have his own agenda. But because they have so many boxers and so many conflicts of interest, these talk about conflicts of interest. That's what these promoters have. You might have fighters. You might have multiple fighters in the same division under your stable. They all want to be champion in that division. They all want to make a lot of money in that division. Well, you got to choose who you prioritize as a promoter. Who are you going to prioritize? Whoever you prioritize, they're going to win. Whoever's lower in that priority list, they're going to lose out. Whether Al Heyman, thank you, 22 Roman. Al Heyman should not have his own agenda. But the promoters, they have all these people in their stable in the same division. They all want the same thing. Well, who do you prioritize? Oh, well, I can't make these two guys fight because that would, you know what I'm saying? Oh, well, I want to put priority on this fighter. Meanwhile, these other fighters suffer, but they might be better fighters. They might be more exciting. They might They might not be as exciting right now, but if they get the opportunity to show what they have to display their talent, they might be better. They might turn out to be better than your favorite, the guy who you prioritize, but you wouldn't know that because, you know, you have your agenda as a promoter. You want to see, oh, who's going to give me the most money right now? Fuck their career. I'm going to focus on this guy's career while that guy's career suffers because I have my own agenda. It's not just Eddie Hearn, y'all. It's all of them. It's all of them, right? You cannot represent, and this is what I say when I talk about government officials, when I talk about government bureaucrats, politicians, senators, congresspeople, people that are supposed to represent a large number of people. There's no way you can represent everybody. You can't. You cannot represent everybody's interest at one time. Not just you. It's better for people to represent their own interests. But if you try to represent all these people's interests, somebody's going to suffer. Somebody's going to come up, and they're only going to come up for the time being because your agenda might change. Somebody else might come through with more money and more opportunity for you. So now you got to prioritize their interest while the person whose interest you were focused on before, their interest, I mean, there's no way. It's not sustainable. And it's the same thing with promoters. If a promoter has all these fighters in their stable, and some of them are in the same division, some of them are in different divisions, and then you might have some people, they want to move up to another division you already have fighters in, and you have a plan for them. Well, what's your plan for this motherfucker that wants to move up and try to and get fighting championships and get belts and all this other shit? What if they have a belt in a lower division, they want to go up to a higher division, and they want to fight for a belt in the same sanctioning body, but you have a fighter that already holds that belt? What do you do then? Oh no, you can't fight him. No. You gotta wait. You want to move up, you gotta go do this and do that. You gotta drop your belt. You gotta drop your belt in that lower division, and you gotta start over from scratch in the new division. Allow the guy that I already have it, that has his belt in this division, let him defend a few more. Let him defend his titles some more, or let him unify. And then, and only then, you will have your turn. But guess what? If I did not represent both of y'all, and you had your belt, and you represented yourself, and this fighter in this division with that belt represented himself, and you wanted to move up and try to get that belt because you already have a belt in that division, and you can go up there and you can challenge a guy with that belt in this division because you get priority. If I don't have an Eddie Hearn or an Al Heyman or a motherfucking Bob Arum in the way, I could just move up and do that. I can say, hey, I'm moving up and I'm coming for your belt. Why do I have to wait? Because because my representative also represents you, and he gives you priority. Why do I have to wait? Or if there's only one belt and one champion per division, well, if you want to move up and fight for that belt, guess what? You got to start from scratch. You got to start from scratch. But there's only one belt. Or if you're the ultimate champion of this division and you want to move up to that division and fight the champion, guess what? You can do that. You don't have to worry about whether or not, oh, well, I can't go up and challenge him because my promoter promotes him. And my promoter wants me to wait. He wants me to defend my title in this lower division a few more times while this guy defends his titles and get all this championship money here and there. And then if I want to move up, because it's harder to make the weight. You know what I'm saying? I'm struggling with cutting weight and all this, that, and the third. Oh, now I got to suffer for a couple more years. No, fuck that. If you don't have a promoter promoting both of y'all, you can just move up and challenge him. Because you're already a champion in this division. You can move up and challenge the champion in the higher division, and then that'd be a great fight. Simple as that, man. You know, boxing does not have to be that complicated. It's only as complicated as it is because promoters do not prioritize their fighters. And they can't. They can't promote. They cannot prioritize every single fighter's career because they have too many fighters. They have too many fighters. Somebody's going to suffer. Somebody's going to suffer under that promoter. Under a promotional company. Like Matchroom, like Top Rank, like the PBC. It's too much. It's better if the fighters represent themselves, and then if you want to make a fight happen, your lawyers negotiate with their lawyers. Bada boom, bada bing, you make something happen. And then, and only then, once the fight is made, you hire a promoter to promote the fight. And guess what? Y'all both have to pay that one promoter to promote that fight. Or you can have somebody that's already in your camp promote the fight from your side. They can have somebody in their camp promote the fight from their side. Now you got two promoters promoting the fight. But guess what? The promoter for this boxer works only for that boxer. And the promoter for the other boxer promotes only that boxer. Now you have multiple promoters that have actual interest and actual incentive to promote your fight the best way possible. Brit Ops was good. Yes, everybody should take a side. Facts. Eddie Spaghetti says, I'm a boxer, I'm a lover. All right, for sure, man. I'm both. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to be mutually exclusive. But y'all get what I'm saying. If you promote a fight, you should promote the fight. If somebody hires you to promote their career, to promote their fight. And why are promoters handling careers anyway? You're a promoter, not a... they already have a manager that manages their career. Why do I need a promoter to, you know what I'm saying? Why I can just have my manager or my lawyer go to the networks. I just have my manager go to the networks. You know, so we agree on a fight. Now we have to find a network to show the fight. Okay, so our promoters, my manager, your manager, we go to the network. We all talk to the network. We all come up with the best business to make this fight happen, to show the fight. If I want to go to ESPN, I can go to ESPN. If I want to go to HBO, I can go to HBO. I know HBO don't show fights no more. But y'all get what I'm saying. We want to do pay-per-view, we can do pay-per-view. We have to, all right, well, you want to do pay-per-view? Well, guess what? Both managers have to convince the network that their fight is worth it. All right? And then you get a promoter to promote the fight. That's what they're supposed to do. But for whatever reason, fighters are signing with these with these promoters under basically 360 degree deals where they're getting every fucking thing. No. The fighters have to put out so much money. No, the network will pay the promoter. How about that? The network pays the promoter. The fighter gets their purse. The fighters pay whatever they have to pay their people out of their purse. The networks pay the promoters because it's in the network's best interest as well to sell the shit out of the fight. Not to torpedo it, right? Not to torpedo it, but to promote it. Because we've had promoters torpedo fights. We've had it. We had fighters torpedo fights, just like Ryan Garcia did. Ryan Garcia torpedoed the fight with Devin Haney with all his antics. With all his they would have sold way more if it wasn't for Ryan Garcia torpedoing the fight. Well, guess what? Guess what? If it were as it should be, okay, your fighter is, oh, Ryan Garcia, you're trying to torpedo this fight. You're pulling all this bullshit. You're saying all this crazy shit. People don't think you're going to show up to the fight. It's not looking good. All right, we're gonna take whatever losses that we project from your bullshit. We're gonna take it out of your cut. We're gonna take it out of your cut. You trying to torpedo this fight because you don't really want to fight him. You're actually scared. All right, well then, if you keep it up, we'll pull you, and we'll have Devin Haney fight the backup. We'll have Devin Haney fight a backup, and that motherfucker will get the money that you were supposed to get. Because we're going to make a fight happen. You know what I'm saying? It's in the network's best interest to sell the fight. So the network can pay the promoter. That way, guess what? That way, or the fighters pay the promoter the same amount of money to one promoter. That promoter's job is to sell the fucking fight. That is what your job is. Promote the fight, sell the fight. Ryan Stanhope, that's true. You cannot be a lover without being a fighter. Facts. So, I mean, that's just my 2 cents. That's just another way that we can go about it. You know what I'm saying? Just like with government, right? Get the middleman out of there. And if we want to build a road in the hospital, the people in that community, the people in that city, state, town, whatever, we pull our money together. You know what I'm saying? The taxes don't come out our check no more. And we only put money towards the shit that we want to actually happen, that we get a say on. Okay, boom. We want to build this road. We want to build this hospital. We go directly to the contractor that we choose. They go through a bidding process. You understand what I'm saying? And all the money that is exchanged is thoroughly watched. And the people within that community that feel like they need that hospital, they pay the contractors directly. They deal with the contractors directly. Of course, you're going to hire some people, or you're going to have people within your community that has knowledge of the business. They're going to handle it, but you're going to have access to everything that goes on. Every transaction, every interaction, every meeting is recorded. Boom. You pay that contractor directly. You know that you're going to get the quality work, because guess what? They had to bid on the work, and they have every incentive to build this hospital properly, to make sure it's safe, all that type of shit. Make sure it's built right. And that works out better for everybody. It works out better for the contractor. It works out better for the people in the community. You cut out the middleman. Same thing with police. Okay, you want to hire a police department to keep your community safe? Well, it should not be through government. Government should not be overseeing that. No. Hire a private police force that has to bid for your work. And there's actual competition. And with that competition, you're going to get better quality. They'll have more incentive to police your community the best. They can actually serve and protect your community. And if they don't, they can get replaced. Just like that. The whole department, the whole company can get replaced. And guess what? That creates more jobs. That creates more competition. You know what I'm saying? And the people will save money. The people will save money. And if there is, if we need to increase the cost because of this and that, well, you gotta justify every rate increase. All right, we hired you guys. We have a contract with you. You agreed to operate under this contract, but you feel like you need more funds for this, that, and the third. Okay, justify it. Tell us why you need more money. Tell us why you need more money. Or if we feel like, well, you don't need this much money to operate within this community, now we have to just have it in the contract to where every few months or every year or so, you audit the books and see where the money's going. Now, we can use that money for other things that we need to do in the community, or if you guys are doing a great job, well, guess what? You can give raises to your employees. You know what I'm saying? You can pay your people more. You know what I'm saying? For all the great work they're doing. Whatever. However you want to look at it. The same thing can happen with boxing, y'all. Boxing, MMA, you know what I'm saying? All this shit. Everybody thinks they need some man above or a few people above to make sure everything is working right. No. 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 You think Maxine... Listen, let me tell y'all something, man. All these senators and Congress people, they don't care about what you got going on. They don't care about your life. They don't care about your struggle. They don't care about that. All they care about is the struggle in the interest of the special interest groups, just like in boxing. All the sanctioned bodies care about is whose palms get greased the most. Who's going to grease my palms? Who's going to pay this judge? Who's going to pay that referee? Oh, look, ref, I'll give you a few $1,000s. Make sure that if this guy lands on the belt, say it's below the belt. Or if this guy lands on the belt, say it's below the belt, and give him about 20 minutes to rest. Okay? Just, because this guy likes to throw a lot of body shots. And this guy is weak to the body, but we want him to win. So if he throws any body shots, make sure you call it a low blow. A la Daniel Dubois and Usyk. Look what happened there. Usyk got knocked the fuck out to the body. It was clearly above the belt line, but they called it a low blow. This dude got knocked out and he sat there for 20 minutes. Oh man, this is wild, y'all. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy how relatable boxing is to society and the government and politics. It is amazing how it's so interrelated. Boxing is just a small sample size of how the government works, but it's a significant sample size, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at boxing and look at government, they run the same way, basically. They run the same way. You have a bunch of motherfuckers you don't need in positions that aren't necessary, doing shit that costs more money than it should, and it doesn't benefit the people it should benefit. Imagine that. In both worlds, you have people in positions that aren't necessary, making things happen that should not happen at the expense of the people it's supposed to benefit, and it benefits very little. Except for a select few. There's always exceptions, right? You always have your Tank Davises or your Oprah Winfreys. You have your Canelo Alvarez's, and you got your Jay-Z's. Jay-Z, Canelo, Oprah Winfrey, Tank Davis, Jamie Foxx, goddamn Errol Spence. Well, I'm not gonna put Errol Spence in there. Let me not do that. A pack of jerky promote. Exactly. So I mean, I don't know, y'all. It's I'm just saying, man. Like we need to really look at what is necessary to sustain ourselves. Like, you know, like what is really necessary? What do the boxers really need to make successful boxing matches and be successful in boxing? Where your success depends on the merit of the people you fight. Not because you have dazzling knockout reels against bums. No, because you have a tough fight that's entertaining against an opponent that you could not knock out. Because they have actual boxing ability. And you have to actually box with them. You have to cut them off. You have to set them up. You have to set traps. It's more strategic. It's more of a chess match. Not because you're fighting flat-footed motherfuckers that stand there and let you hit up on them. You know what I'm saying? No. But it is what it is. That's all I got for now, y'all, man. I just thought it was funny how Eddie Hearn was just supposed to be so great for Jaron Boots Ennis, and now it's just proven to be probably the worst move Jaron Boots Ennis could have made. Yeah, he was probably better off being a network, a promotional free agent. Real shit. The Devin Haney model is the model to follow, I believe. If more fighters followed the Devin Haney model, it would be a lot better for boxing, y'all. Because these boxers, a lot of them, just to have the heart and the bravery to box in the first place, they're not really afraid of each other. They're not afraid to fight each other. They're not even necessarily afraid to lose. They're afraid of the backlash of losing. They're afraid of the value they may lose if they lose. They're not necessarily afraid of losing. They're afraid of fickle fans who would abandon them if they lost. Tank Davis ain't afraid to lose to Devin Haney. He is afraid of what would happen if he lost. Because if Devin Haney won against Tank Davis, it wouldn't be because he knocked him out. Hell no. It would be because he got outboxed, outclassed. And Devin Haney ain't afraid to fight Tank Davis. And Tank Davis could very well knock Devin Haney the fuck out. But Devin Haney's not afraid to get knocked out. He showed that against Ryan Garcia. What, did he have the smartest game plan against Ryan? No, he did not. But he showed that he's willing to stand there and bang, and that he does have punch resistance and all that other shit. He's not afraid to get knocked out by Tank Davis. But he might be afraid of the backlash, but I don't even think he's afraid of that. I think Devin Haney is an example of a fighter who does not care of fan backlash or losing the fight, because he has that much. Tank Davis is afraid of the backlash, or at least his people are. At the end of the day, does Tank really give a fuck about what the fans think? I don't know. I can't tell you, because there's way too many people speaking for Tank Davis that ain't Tank Davis. You got goddamn Calvin Ford speaking for him, Kenny. All these people are speaking for Tank. Tank fans are saying shit that Tank ain't even saying. That he's too small to move up to 140 to fight Devin Haney. But Tank never said that. Tank never, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, man. Y'all get what I'm saying. Haney is trash. That's your opinion. That's cool. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Much love, like, share, subscribe. And yeah, we're gonna keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace.